Yeah, we in the front row and it's so live.
Shout out to In the Front Row.
You'll see some of those highlights from Montrez and everyone throughout their
Baby,
drilling.
front row the best.
Now we in the front row. Thank you for tuning in to the show.
Appreciate you live and showing the world. Keeping going, Jermaine Jackson.
Everybody so hype. High school to the pros. Now we in the front row. Now we in the front row.
Back to the ship.
Now you in the front row.
How does it feel?
Feels good. He's all right.
Row when it's so live. Got the best view. VIP courtside. It's going down. Everybody so hype. High school to the pros. Now we in the front row. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Now we ballin', homie, you already know. It's going down, everybody so hype. High school to the pros, now we in the front row.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the In the Front Row YouTube channel, and we are trying to do some more content for you. Fredo and Shereen are with me, and guys, today I am excited to talk about the Last Dance documentary that came out. Episodes 3 and 4 are coming this week, but episodes 1 or 2 definitely hit with a bang. Guys, the floor is yours. What was your initial reaction after watching episodes 1 and 2?
Fredo, you go first.
Well,
The floor is yours, Fredo.
yeah, well, watching, I mean, everyone kind of knew the situation, what really happened, and now they're giving us some more insight detail in what really happened, cameras on the scene. I was surprised with a couple comments and a couple things that the owner, Mr. Reinsdorf, I believe his name is, had to say that, you know, I guess in 97, 98, he believed at that moment that any other player besides Jordan was on the downfall of their career, and that he was open in getting rid of them. But I mean, you look at what Scottie, Pippen, and everybody else kind of had a little bit more years after them. You know, they the Rockets for a year or so, moved on to Portland, finished off there. Then other guys still had a couple more things to give, but it just seemed like a lot of people are taking a shot at that other guy and Cruz, the GM. But it was really the owner, man. Just looking at the way he talked about the situation, I'm like, man, you're the owner. You had a say in all of this. You're not gonna let this GM run your business. I mean, if you have Jordan, you have a window. Jordan possibly could have won 2 more, possibly, depending on how they build that team around. But then it just seemed like he was out of it. He was like, well, it's out of my hands. You know, he's a GM, letting him run the things the way he wants to do it. That's the kind of thing that I got out of it. I mean, there's a lot more that I'm pretty sure you guys are going to mention, but that's the key thing that really caught my attention was that, wow, an owner is really like, I mean, look at the difference. Jerry Buss. Look at what Jerry did when Kobe tried to walk away to the Clippers in 2004, 2005. I mean, you see the certain ownership will put a stop on certain things and be like, nope, this is not going to happen. Here's the money, here's this, here's blah, 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 whatever it is. But you see the difference in ownership in certain situations. And this ownership situation in 98 was bad for the Bulls. I wonder how everyone felt after they won that championship. The 98, 99 season came around. What happened there? Like, it's incredible to see this type of stuff right now.
Shereen, your initial reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Fredo. Like, I was, what is up with this owner? Because the GM was such a villain.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like a villain, and if you listen to him, it's all about him. He didn't get enough credit, you know, and then he comes out and says this will be the last season for Phil Jackson. Like, why do you get rid of Phil Jackson? You know, and the thing is, like, even Phil was like, what the hell? So I think they had a couple more years. We'll never know. Like, why don't take a chance? What's the worst case? You're not going to build the same team. This was a team with chemistry, and the chemistry was important. And they did pull out the fact that, you know, when Pippen was hurt or out or protesting or whatever he was doing, Jordan couldn't play as well. I mean, he had to like dominate the game. So obviously the two of them are very important. And again, the owner didn't step in and say, hey, you know what? That was really a raw deal we gave you. Yes, you were, you know, stupid enough to sign it, but, you know, we're going to redo it because we want you here and, you know, and beef them up so they can get a few more trophies. Like, ride the wave, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought that when I was watching it with the people I was watching with, I literally said, why would you break this team up? Like, I just didn't get it. I understand. I mean, you coming off a three-peat, why would you kind of set it as, well, at the time, 2 championships into a three-peat, but why would you set it up as, oh, this is our final year, this is like Phil Jackson's final year? I thought the owner should have taken more responsibility. Another thing that was kind of interesting that I was watching was when Michael Jordan got hurt. I believe it was in his second season, and they put him on a minute restriction, and then they finally let him go in the playoffs. That's when his beef with management started. And they said it was never the same really after that. And then, I mean, obviously he still went on to win 6 titles, but still to be that successful with the front office that they had and the management issues that they had relating to their players, I thought was an interesting concept of the documentary. One thing I did want to talk about was the Scottie Pippen contract, because it was a big headline of episode 2, and how he was the 6th highest paid player on the Bulls, despite being the 2nd or 1st player in a lot of categories. Was Scottie Pippen dramatically underpaid? Do you agree?
Yeah, but he went for a long-term contract. So he wanted a, steady income for his family to, help them. And he just saw, wow, they're going to keep me for this long. I don't think he realized that he was going to be on a championship team. How do you foresee 7 years in advance? So it's a good lesson for all you pro basketball players out there. 3 years, 4 years is good. 7 years, gosh, and these days coaches change every year.
Yeah.
If they don't have a good year, they might, bye-bye coach, bye-bye GM. I mean, I'm happy for the Bulls that they're getting rid of everybody, because that organization's been a shit show for 2 or 3 years. But, yeah, I mean, he was done to do it, but he was young and probably didn't have the right people around him and didn't think that the team would be so good. But now, write something in your contract that says if the team wins a championship, that it's negotiable at that point or something. I mean, there's got to be a creative way. But that was a long time ago, and I think a lot has changed since then, actually. I don't think 7-year deals are even made anymore.
Yeah, I think the highest is 5. I believe the max contract is 5 years. You can sign in the NBA now. Fredo, what did you learn from that?
Well, I guess it's 1991 when he signed that contract. And at that point, you really don't know. Like, even Scottie said it himself. I don't know if I might get hurt. I might have a major injury. I might not be able to play again. He needs insurance. And, I mean, at that point, that's the only thing you were able to get. And, it sucks to say, because he was drafted in 87, 88. So he was probably 4 years in the league at that moment. They didn't win a championship at that moment yet, but that was his fault. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. Yeah, that sucks for him to be he was 126 overall in the whole league that year and paid. I mean, that's on him. Yeah, it sucks. It's you said, it's a learning process. You're gonna learn from it, and a lot of people nowadays are not gonna do any dumb moves like that. But I
mean, Kyle Kuzma makes about that much money every year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and no one knew he was gonna get who he is. So this upcoming contract that he's gonna get, because he's eligible with 21, I believe it is. He's gonna get a pretty good chunk of change.
It was definitely interesting, and the owner even said when Scottie Pippen signed the deal not to sign it. He warned him. He was like, Scottie, I wouldn't sign this, and he still did, and then trapped in. It was definitely an interesting part.
Insurance, man, you need that insurance money.
Yeah, well, he was like, Scottie, I wouldn't sign this. Because you never know where you are in 3 or 4 years. Shereen, we'll start with you. Is there anything you're looking forward to in these documentaries coming up?
Well, usually a documentary starts from the beginning and goes to the end, and this is jumping all over the place. So first of all, I'm curious why they're putting out 2 episodes at a time.
Yes,
Second
they are.
I would string it out. Second of all, I don't know where we're going because we're jumping all over the place. Like, I want to know more about Phil Jackson and how he got this team, his mindset together and the chemistry. Those are the things I love to hear about more than anything else. I'm just happy the Lakers got Phil Jackson for their championship.
Yeah.
That's true. They let him go. And then, Fredo, anything you looking forward to?
I mean, whoa.
Whoa!
Yeah. my light went off. Yeah, my light went out. That's crazy. It came back on. But yeah, so what I'm looking forward to seeing in the whole process, I I really just want to see how they were able to deal with all this drama that led on from after the 97 year, right after they won the championship when Jordan was doing the press conference. He was already talking about the following year. We got to keep the team together. Why rebuild? Why do this? So everything started probably earlier on, but how were they able to maintain all that through the whole year and actually win with the dramatic jump shot that Michael Jordan got in Game 6 in the 98 finals to win a 6th championship? So I want to see how they dealt with everything. And this documentary is going to show us that.
I want to see that. And because it's interesting to me to watch because I was only 2 at the time they won their 6th title. So obviously I wasn't really aware what was going on. I would have loved to.
Well, just 2, Dylan?
Yeah, I was wondering.
He's young.
Yeah. So I thought it was
my youngest daughter, actually.
Yeah.
Damn.
I didn't really live through the time, so it's interesting to kind of watch back.
Bro.
I want to see how they handled it because they got off to Fredo's latest. They got off to
something's happening over here, man.
Yeah. They
It's
got
a
off to such a miserable start that without Scottie Pippen, I want to see how they kind of rebound and move forward. Like Shereen said, it's really not in order, so I guess you really never know what's coming up. I also want to see how they built the team to win 6 titles. I understand they brought in Jordan, they brought in Pippen. I want to see their moves before they win the 6 titles as well, because they did go back and talk about his rookie year and how he changed the city of Chicago dramatically. But I want to see like a few years before they start winning the titles. I think that'll be interesting. One quick thing I want to get your reaction on before we wrap up is ESPN reported that Kobe also documented his final season as a Laker. What do you guys think of that? Would you guys be excited to see that documentary?
Definitely. We can't wait to see that. I can't wait. And I forgot 2 things. Being an Arizona Wildcat fan, I'm really interested to see more of Steve Kerr. And now that he's a championship coach and he learned from Phil Jackson and probably his whole experience there with Arizona. So I'm interested to hear about that. I forgot about that whole situation. And these days we give the GM a lot of credit and a lot of the credit if the team does well and not. But back then, I guess we didn't. I guess people didn't. And so that's why that GM was sour. So
definitely was. Fredo, any last thoughts?
On
anything. What about the Kobe? What are you excited to see about?
The Kobe thing.
anything.
Yeah.
So I believe Spectrum Sports said people who channeled the Lakers stuff, they actually been running some documentaries of Kobe's last year and stuff like that. So they kind of, they already do like a little backseat. So you kind of see the little snips and bits. But once you do the whole thing from the NBA's perspective way, it's going to be pretty amazing to go ahead and see that. I don't know when they're going to come with that. I mean, it sucks that they're possibly not going to have any feedback like MJ's feedback, how he had during this documentary. They're not going to have that on Kobe's behalf. Hopefully somebody...
But they have clips from everything that he said in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, I mean, he did say a lot of things. So I just wonder how that's going to come about, but that's going to be amazing just to watch. But before we let this go, I just want to say this is plain and simple. Arguably, LeBron is better than Jordan overall.
Oh,
LeBron
no.
has a better career than MJ. And I was just doing more work, research on this whole thing, looking at how MJ
How many rings does LeBron have?
He has 3, but he's still playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Still
but he's
playing at 40?
Yeah, but he's 9 appearances in the NBA Finals. 9. But he was. There's a lot to be discussed. This is a different discussion for another day. But I just wanted to say this.
Decade by decade. MJ, and then Kobe, and then LeBron.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to say something. LeBron may have a documentary in 10 or 15 years.
He has documentaries.
Hey, but
too many
LeBron's possibly going to win 3 titles in 3 different teams. So
that's if the Lakers win.
Shaq did that, though, didn't he?
What was that?
Shaq did at least 2, right? Miami.
Oh, yeah, Miami and LA.
1, 2, yeah.
Shaq's been DJing on Instagram, by the way, if you haven't caught it.
Who?
Shaq yesterday he had like 6,000 people watching him, yesterday.
The Lakers got to get over that hump, Fredo. They have the Clippers in the Western Conference. That's going to be...
Who?
They're not even going to play this year. Are they going to play?
I hope.
I think they will.
Wait, so go to Vegas and just have a bunch of games and play?
Well, that's what they're planning on doing, keeping everyone in one hotel, and playing out in Vegas. So hopefully they do something just to crown a goddamn champion. I want to see someone. If it's not the Lakers, if it's not the Clippers, if it's not Boston, whoever it is, Milwaukee. Maybe Milwaukee might get this down year right here. Milwaukee.
Toronto.
Watch out for Boston.
Doing well.
I'm just saying Kawhi could win with 3 different teams as well. He's obviously not as good as LeBron James. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a storyline.
We don't know till it happens.
Let's just hope it happens, right? Let's just hope we get basketball soon. But guys, in the meantime, we get to watch this documentary about Michael Jordan and the run of the Bulls. So episodes 3 and 4 are coming up, and we are excited to watch them. We will react to them for you. Go ahead and subscribe right now to our YouTube page and follow us on all social media. Subscribe. Make sure you do. Yep. Guys, we will see you next time.
Thank you. Go
subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe, guys, right now. Do it right now. Click it.
In the front row. Click subscribe.
Right now, like
we're only at 96 and we're at 1,000.
Literally, like right there.
Yeah.
There it is. Click it right now, guys.
We're getting there.
It.
Go subscribe.
Click it right now. Click. Subscribe.
To see Fredo and I debate.
Right
You
now.
don't want to miss
Subscribe.
that.
Yeah, subscribe right now, guys. Subscribe. Do it.
We'll see you next week at 7:30, guys. Till next time.
VIP courtside, ay, it's going down. Everybody so hype. High school to the pros. Now we in the front row. Hey, hey, thank you for tuning in to the show. Ay.